Thank you very much, Darren. A great pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, cool. Lassane, this might be a big question, but can you tell me what you make of the violence that has been going on in Belfast and other parts of Northern Ireland over the last few nights?
Yes, Darren, it's a bit stressful moment for all of us as a community, as migrants. And Darren, let me take you back to 2023 with Dublin riots and what has been going on around the country with anti-migrant protests, anti-immigration protests going on. Yesterday in Dublin, you will have seen that also, those who call themselves, the Irish people or the far rights do not label them, they don't recognize themselves, even though they are, made a protest in Dublin as well as simultaneously what was happening in Belfast. Darren, I've been talking to members of our community in Belfast, and I know some people who have been indoor for the last 2 days who can't even go out and even fearing for their lives. And again, we call this numerous times. People who listen to our African Diaspora News every Friday between half 11 and 12 with Mary on Near FM will hear us discuss on numerous times about issues of migration, but the lack of policy implementation, the lack of political will, the lack of leaders who are run away from their duties and their responsibilities. So politicians will vote at the cause of what is happening to us today. Because if offenders are judged or treated based on their skin color and not the action they have taken, then it encourages this to continue further and damage to be done, which is not only affecting the migrant, but it's affecting the entire community, the society we live in. So it's something that we need to really be vocal on our leaders, current leaders, local representatives, politicians, TDs and MEPs, to the extent of what have we voted them for, to protect us, or have we voted them to put us at risk and expose us to such kind of, gangsterism and violence.
Yeah, to see people, including women and children, getting burned out of their homes in Belfast is really despicable behaviour, in my opinion. But this has also happened in Dublin as well, in the Republic of Ireland, over the last few years, hasn't it?
Exactly. And again, like I said to you, we should not, be double standard in treating, people based on their skin colors or their backgrounds. If somebody's at fault, the law must prevail, and we must hold people accountable to the extent of their action. So, Darren, what happened in Belfast is something that it's not the first time this kind of anti-social behaviors have taken place. But the question is that what happened to those who done it before? So if there are some people who are walking free, calling themselves as citizens of Ireland or British citizens, who work with 100 criminal records, tens of criminal records, and then being allowed to be free and continue to inflict damage to the community and not truly, held accountable to the extent of their action, then this is going to continue, because if I know that being wrong, nothing will happen to me, then I have no fear of not being wrong. So, again, Belfast is a wake-up call among many other wake-up calls that we had in the past. And it's time that we raise our voice and concern to our leaders, politicians, policymakers, those who are enforcing those policies, who really think of what they want Ireland for tomorrow, for our younger generation and children. Darren, if we want a healthy society, it starts now that we care for our society in the longer term, so we don't leave a legacy where the younger generation will be asking, what have we done for them to deserve what they will be living in 10 or 15 years?
I understand what you're saying, Lassane, and I think nearly everybody would agree with you that if somebody breaks the law, it doesn't matter what skin colour they have, they should be held accountable for breaking the law, and
Exactly.
that's just normal democracy. All Democrats believe that. But you mentioned migration there. Like, are there any other kind of policies that you would like to see implemented? Not just criminal justice kind of convicting people who have committed crimes. Because I understand what you're saying, we have to debate these issues more. But I just don't know. Are there any other areas like that you would like to see as regards migration in Ireland and the EU, like to see it addressed?
Yes, Darren, we all want to feel safe. We all want to feel at home. We want to also feel being part of a community and society, that we feel belonging and safer to go out in the morning, go for walk or go for shopping, go for gym or, leisures and come back safely. So that's said, we need cities, towns, country where safety is at the core height of everything. Policing is a problem. Security, community safety is something that we need to be focusing. We need to be bringing everybody together to discuss issues that matter to us, not allowing the only people who are sitting in a fancy bureaus or bureaucratic environment with their pens and notebooks writing and dictating what should happen to us in our communities. We need to be more engaged. The community needs to be more engaged. And again, we say it, nothing about us without us. And our leaders need to be told and be educated why it is time that their solutions are not working. Therefore, it is time that they involve, they engage better with the communities. They need to make sure they take advice, guidance, counseling from those who live this trauma day to day and how best can this be tackled. Policing is a problem. Look, Darren, yesterday, the day before yesterday, for the last 3 days, we've been receiving messages from different WhatsApp groups informing us what is being planned. Some of the Gardaí are informed, either here or in the PS in North of Ireland, will be aware that this is things that have been doing. What measures have been taken to prevent this happening? Nothing. They wait until the damage starts happening or even already being done before you see the violence duplicated from the other side to tackle violence. This is something that we need to engage as a collective community, finding collective solution to the collective problems and moving toward a peaceful and environmental issues where we can live at peace and safely with one another. Our politicians, again, I said, Ireland, I always say that Ireland is one of the wealthiest. I say Ireland is one of the wealthiest when it comes to policies and laws. But how are they being implemented, enforced, is the most poorest way of doing things that I have ever seen in my whole life, traveling around the EU or other countries for my work as a community leader. So policies are in place, but not implemented, not enforced. we need to start picking the debate of how can we make it effective by holding our leaders accountable for their failures. Except that, it will continue like this for so long, and none of us will be safe.